What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Thursday, June 26th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, got off to a bit of a rough start. We had the Toronto Blue Jays at -110. That was eventually a 5-4 extra inning loss. Scherzer was pretty good out there for the Blue Jays, but the bullpen was bad, and they made a huge mess there at the 10th inning, so a tough way to lose that one. We had the Mariners at +105. That was another kind of unfortunate loss. It was a 2-0 loss despite a good start there from Kirby, as the Mariners offense, though, they just couldn't get anything going in that game. The Yankees, Cincinnati Reds, under 9.5. Very, very good there. A 7-1 win there for the Yankees behind a great game from Max Fried. And Singer was actually pretty bad, but the Reds bullpen, it wasn't great either. But all that being said, not enough runs to cost us this game. Now, that does mean we bricked our dog of the day there on the Reds at +180. That was a bit of a long shot, but I thought there was some value there. But we'll definitely take this win on the under. We had the Tampa Bay Rays at -125. That was a solid 3-0 win behind a monster start there from Rasmussen. Kind of as predicted there. Thought he'd have a good game, and he sure enough did. Also, that Tampa Bay bullpen looking very, very good. We cashed our massive lock of the day. It was no run first inning there on the Pirates-Milwaukee game. We had those two young monsters out there, and yeah, it wasn't a walk in the park to cash that bet, but we ended up getting the win, and also, there were a combined 4 strikeouts in that first inning, so they were doing their thing out there. Just, things can go a little bit awry in baseball every once in a while, but regardless, we'll take the win. A 3-3 day, though, not what we're looking for. Let's see if we can get back on track. We've been on a very hot 3-day run there. Let's see if we can get back after it here. First up, on kind of a short Thursday slate, we're going to be looking at the Sacramento Athletics going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Athletics come into this game fresh off a nice 3-0 win there in Game 2 of this series. They're only 33-49 on the year, so not really headed anywhere important this season, but maybe they're building up a little bit for when they're eventually in Vegas, which is apparently, the not even that long term of a plan for this franchise. We'll see how things go, though, here as they hand the ball to Jeffrey Spriggs, who's 6-5 on the year, a 4.24 ERA this season. His last start, he was great there against the Guardians. 7 1/3 innings, 3 hits, only a single earned run allowed, struck out 6 and walked 1. It was eventually a 5-1 win there for the Athletics. They're actually 2-0 over his last 2 starts. He was very good against Cleveland and very good against the Royals. And you could make a case that, his last 4 starts have all been very, very reasonable. So we'll see what he does here against the Tigers. Not a team that he's faced yet this season, but I'm expecting him to be pretty decent out there. Although going up against the Tigers, not always the easiest thing to do. The Athletics bullpen, though, a huge problem. The worst bullpen in the majors. The offense, actually not bad. I know they're coming off a 3-run day, which isn't anything special, but over the course of the year, they're 16th in runs scored. They're 11th in batting average, batting .252 as a team. I mean, when you've got Soderson, Rooker, and Wilson on your squad, you've got a pretty decent lineup, at least, for a team that's not really trying to compete. So we'll see what happens here going up against the Tigers, who are going to need to bounce back after getting shut out yesterday. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Dietrich Enns. We'll see what this 34-year-old veteran looks like out there as a starter. I'm not expecting miracles from him here. I mean, a left-handed pitcher out there doesn't look terrible. Now, once the bullpen gets involved for Detroit, that's been a little bit more of a question mark recently than it was, over the majority of the season. A 3.74 bullpen ERA right now is up quite a bit from their, or low point or high point, depending on how you want to look at that. Now, the offense, I mean, they've scored 0, 11, 9, 3, and 8 runs over the last few games. I'm not going to say they're swinging cold bats. I mean, they're 4th in the majors in runs scored. They're batting .254 as a team that's 10th best in the majors. They're the 5th best slugging percentage team in the majors. This team can hit the ball. So looking at the numbers here, the Athletics, they're -134. The Tigers are -158. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Athletics, they are 17-22 on the road, 19-15-5 to the over on the road. Detroit, 27-12 at home, 20-16-3 to the under at home. I don't have a huge lean on this game. The Tiger starter is a little bit of an unknown quantity, at least at the moment. I'm going to lean just slightly towards the Tigers at -158, and you could even maybe talk me into a small look at the over in this game, but not really a spot where I'm showing much value. Next on the docket, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. The Blue Jays got a decent start out of Scherzer there yesterday, but kind of made a mess out of things and didn't have a great time with their bullpen to eventually lose 5-4. They're going to try and bounce back in this one, handing the ball to Kevin Gausman, who's 5-6 on the year, a 4.60 ERA. His last time out, he got absolutely dismantled by the Diamondbacks, giving up 7 earned runs over 4 1/3 innings. Start for that did not have a good time at the Phillies. Start for that was okay at the Twins, but generally speaking, hasn't been throwing the ball great recently. We'll see what he can do here against Cleveland, a team that he had a great start against in early May. So maybe he can lean on that positive history and have a good outing here. The Toronto bullpen's been pretty good this season, a 3.64 bullpen ERA, drastically improved there. And the offense, while it hasn't necessarily been top of the heap over the entire season, I would say over the last 20-25 games, they've looked much, much better. They're currently 15th in runs scored, but second in batting average as a team, batting .257. They're 7th in on base percentage, getting on base at a .326 clip. Like, this is a pretty solid team at the plate right now. So I'm expecting them to do something here against the Guardians, who come into this game 40-38 this year. They've won 3 out of their last 4 games. They'll hand the ball here to Tanner Bybee, who's 4-7 this season, a 3.86 ERA. His last start, not the best stuff there against the Athletics. He did strike out 10 in the game, but also gave up 11 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them were earned. He pitched 8 innings, so congratulations on that, but I don't know. I don't know if I loved it. Now, over his last few starts, he's looked pretty solid. We'll see what he's got in the tank here to go up against Toronto. Coming off an 8-inning start, I doubt he's had any other starts where he's gone that. No, that's by far his longest start this season. He did start against Toronto back in early May. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them were earned, and a 5-4 win for Cleveland. We'll see what Bybee gets done in this one. I'm not necessarily expecting miracles here. The Cleveland bullpen has been, I would say, slightly helpful, but not as helpful as it was last season. A 3.75 bullpen ERA, kind of middle of the pack. And while the offense did come up with 5 runs yesterday, they've scored 5, 6, 3, and 4 over their last few games. They are leaning very aggressively on Jose Ramirez to carry the load, the vast majority of the load. They are 25th in the majors in runs scored. They are 25th in batting average, batting .230 as a team. They're 26th in slugging percentage. Just not a lot of super scary bats getting run up there to the plate for the Guardians, and that puts a lot of pressure on a bullpen that's really not that insane this year, or not, just not the bullpen, the pitching staff, the whole thing. Not that great. So looking at the numbers here, the Blue Jays are -105, the Guardians are -115. We've got a total of 8 in this one. Toronto 17-20 on the road. They're basically a 500 over/under team on the road. Cleveland 19-16 at home. They are a slight under team at home. In terms of a total in this game, I'll lean just a hair towards over 8. I think we'll see some offense in this game, but in terms of the side here, I'm going to shade towards the Blue Jays at -105. I think they're the better team right now. I think they're swinging the bats a lot better than the Guardians are right now, and I think what we saw happen there yesterday was a little bit of an aberration for a Blue Jays team that's actually pretty good. Rolling along here, guys, we've got the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The Mariners are 41-38 on the season. They've won their last, they lost their last game 2-0, obviously, but they've been doing pretty well. They'd won 3 in a row before that. They'll hand the ball in this game to Emerson Hancock, who's 3-3 on the year, a 5.43 ERA. His last start, though, was a disaster. Now, a weird situation there at Wrigley Field, a lot of crazy wind going on, but he gave up 9 earned runs over 4 innings on only 6 hits, gave up 4 homers in that game. A huge drop-off after dismantling the Cleveland Guardians to start for that. So I'm expecting Hancock here to bounce back in a huge way in this game. I think he'll be very, very good out here against the Twins. Has he faced Minnesota yet this season? I can't remember. No, he has not faced the Twins yet this year, but he does have a pretty solid bullpen to back him up, a 3.60 bullpen ERA for Seattle. Not a huge problem there. The offense can come and go a little bit, but it's been pretty good this season for Seattle. They're 12th in the majors in runs scored, 15th in batting average. Cal Raleigh just keeps on mashing, guys, up to 32 home runs. He's batting .277. Like, he's killing it. I mean, a switch hitting catcher. Pretty wild stuff to see him go on this historic of a tear. But love what we're seeing from Seattle at the plate. So I'm expecting them to bounce back from getting shut out 2-0 there in Game 3 of this series. They will, need to score some runs here against the Twins, who come into this game 38-42 on the season. They needed that win to snap a 5-game losing streak. They'll be hitting the ball in this one to Simeon Woods Richardson, who's 2-4 on the year, a 5.06 ERA. His last start, he did not have a good time against the Brewers. 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them were earned. Walked 3 and struck out 3 in a 9-0 loss. He did have a very good start there against Houston, so maybe he's putting things together a little bit right now, but overall, not really a guy that I trust a ton. I mean, he hasn't faced Seattle yet this year, but I don't expect him to have a great time against them here, and the bullpen for Minnesota has been nothing short of a disaster over their last, as soon as they started struggling, basically as soon as that long winning streak ended, the bullpen has imploded. A 4.36 bullpen ERA is a huge weakness at this point, and the offense hasn't been doing much either, guys. They were 2-5, 2-8, and 0 over their last few games. Not running a lot of great bats up there. They're 17th in the majors in runs scored, but I think that's a number that's due for some regression because they're only 21st in batting average, 20th in on-base percentage, like just not an offense that really gets me going. So looking at the numbers here, the Mariners are plus 102, the Twins are minus 120. We've got a total of 9 out there. Seattle is 21-18 on the road, 22-16-1 to the over on the road. Minnesota 20-17 at home and a 500 over-under team at home. I'm not too interested in the total here, guys. Maybe a tiny lean towards under, but I think the real value in this game is the Mariners at plus 102. They're not a big underdog, but this is a play that's definitely going into the pin common. And if we don't find an underdog that we like more, the Mariners are definitely going to be the one. Hopping in here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description and go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB and UFC picks and every other major sport that is going on right now. You know, there's not a whole lot cooking here in the middle of summer, but we will be back very soon with NFL, college basketball, all the good stuff, college football, all the good stuff, guys. So just stay tuned. Tons of value getting pumped out there every single day. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there. You'll be able to see our free-to-use bet size calculator and our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not always match what you see in the video, as I am not the premium capper for MLB over there at Stump the Spread. You also, guys, you got to go over to StumpTheSpread.com to get on that free email list. The email picks have been on a tear. Every time, you get on that email list, every single day, you're going to get an email with at least one, sometimes two free picks in there that aren't included in the video, and they're pretty solid, guys. They're on a 7-1 run over there. Also, premium picks made like 3 or 4 units yesterday, so that was a pretty solid day overall. So very good information. All they need is your name and your email address. Just click the link down there in the description to get over to StumpTheSpread.com, and that'll get you on the free email list. You just sign up for a free account with your name and your email address, and you'll be good to go getting that email every single day. It's free information, guys, straight to your inbox. Kind of hard to say no to that. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we're doing here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a channel membership. Channel members get early access to all of our videos. They get their name up on screen in every video like you guys have been seeing here right now, but maybe more importantly, you get access to our members only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member right here on the 30th. We'll be hopefully doing, unless we have some drastic drop in channel members here, in the new month, we'll be doing a giveaway every single week here in the month of July. So very, very excited about that, guys. So become a channel member if you're interested, but let's go ahead and hop back in. We've got several more games to look at and lots more value to find here on this Thursday slate. And next up, we're going to be looking at the Philadelphia Phillies going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. The Phillies come into this one fresh off a tough 2-0 loss there at Houston in Game 2 of that series. They actually have yet to score a run in this series, losing 1-0 in Game 1 and 2-0 there in Game 2. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Christopher Sanchez. He's 6-2 on the year, a 2.87 ERA. He's coming off an 8-inning, 5-hit, 1-run appearance there at the Marlins, a game the Phillies won 2-1. He hasn't been getting tons of run support, but he hasn't really needed it. He hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of his last 5 starts. The Phillies are 4-1 over those starts, so yeah, he's doing everything he possibly can, and so are the Phillies pitchers right now, but the offense has been the problem. Now, as I say the Phillies pitchers are doing well, I have to mention that over the course of the year, their bullpen has been pretty bad, but the last couple of games it looked great. Just hasn't been enough offense there to make that worth anything. So we'll see if the bats can awaken here, guys. Getting shut out 2 straight games, not really on brand for a Phillies team that's 11th in runs scored, batting .256 as a team that's 5th best in the majors. They're 4th in on base percentage, getting on base at a .331 clip. Every team's going to go through some slumps, and I think we can safely say that the Phillies are stuck in a hitting slump right now. So we'll see if they can come alive here against the Astros, who are 47-33 on the year, winners of 4 out of their last 5. They'll hand the ball in this one to their young ace, Hunter Brown, who's 8-3 on the year, a 1.88 ERA. His last start only lasted 5 innings, but 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run allowed there in a 3-2 extra inning win at the Angels. The Astros are 5-0 over his last 5 starts. He's given up a grand total of, 5 earned runs over those 5 starts. Pretty crazy track record this kid has built up for himself this season. I mean, Hunter Brown's looking like a monster. I don't know if I can really say too much more than that. He is just looking absolutely lights out. The Houston bullpen has also been very good, a 3.21 bullpen ERA. Elite stuff there. The offense, on the other hand, only 3 runs so far in this series is nothing special. Now, over the course of the year, they've been decent. They're the third highest batting average team in the majors somehow, batting 257 as a squad, but 12th in on-base percentage and 19th in runs scored. Like, that's a number that should improve some. So we'll see what goes on in this game. Looking at the numbers here, the Phillies are plus 118. The Astros are minus 140. We've got a total of 7 in this one. The Phillies 21-18 on the road, 24-14-1 to the under on the road. Houston 28-13 at home, 24-16-1 to the under at home. So on a short slate like this, guys, we have to at least theoretically consider the Phillies as an underdog play, but I like the Mariners better as our underdog play of the day. So that one's not going to make it in the pinned comment. So in terms of a side in this one, I will lean just slightly towards the Astros. I don't love it though. I think under 7 is a much better play in this game. And also, we have to look at the no-run first inning in this game as a potential lock of the day. Could we have back-to-back no-run first inning plays as our lock of the day? It's not impossible, guys. It's not my preference, but it's something that could definitely happen. Next up, we're looking at the Tampa Bay Rays going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. Smash that thumbs up button, guys, if you enjoyed cashing the Tampa Bay Rays with us yesterday. That was a very, very nice win there. Rasmussen was lights out in that game. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Shane Baz, who's 7-3 on the year, a 4.79 ERA. This young 26-year-old done some good stuff. He's had some bad games too, like his last time out, 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs there against the Tigers. Now, that didn't come back to haunt the Rays because they eventually win that game 14-8. And this kid is very adept at getting run support. His last 5 starts haven't all been lights out. They've been pretty solid, but the Rays are 5-0 over those starts with wins against Detroit, the Mets, the Red Sox, the Rangers, and the Astros. So we'll see what he can do here against the Kansas City Royals. He faced them back on the first day of May and got absolutely shelled. So we'll see if that's, in the rear view. For a young pitcher, that can often happen. His first time against a team, he sucks. Second time, he's good, or vice versa. So we'll see which version of Shane Baz we get in this one. Obviously, the Tampa Bay bullpen is no concern. A 3.31 bullpen ERA. That is fantastic. One of the best 4 or 5 bullpens in the majors. The offense has drastically improved. They've scored 3, 5, 3, 8, and 14 over their last few games, but that doesn't even paint that accurate of a picture. They're 8th in the majors in runs scored. They are 4th in the majors, batting 256 as a team. They're 11th in on-base percentage. Like, this is a pretty elite offense, and don't freak out too much, Rays fans, but you guys are currently 1 game back of the Yankees in the AL East. Very impressive stuff there from the Rays. So we'll see what they can do here against a Royals team that's straight up not having a good time. They've dropped 4 straight games. They're down to 38-42 on the year. Hitting the ball in this game to Michael Lorenzen, who's 4-7 on the year, a 4.81 ERA. He has not been super helpful over the course of the year. Now, lately, he's figured it out a little bit. Good starts against the White Sox, Athletics, and the Padres, but those are 3 pretty weak hitting teams, and now he's got to go up against the Tampa Bay Rays. That's a little bit of a different story, guys. The last time he faced Tampa Bay, he was actually really good, but that was back on the very, very end there of April. So we'll see if he can conjure that kind of magic, but he has not been throwing the ball that great recently. We'll see what we get out of Lorenzen. I'm not that out on him, but I'm a little bit worried. Now, looking at the bullpen for the Royals, that's not a concern. A 3.49 bullpen ERA, excellent stuff there. The big concern for the Royals is their total and complete lack of offense. They've scored 0, 1, 2, 1, and 5 runs over their last few games. They are last in the majors in runs scored. They are 27th in slugging percentage. They're getting on base at a 299 clip. That is 26th in the majors. This is a terrible, terrible offensive team. So looking at the numbers here, the Rays are minus 125. The Royals are plus 105. We've got a total of 10 out there. Tampa Bay is 17-12 on the road, 16-13 to the under on the road. The Royals are 19-20 at home, 24-15 to the under at home. A couple things jump out to me. First of all, the Royals suck. So I'm going to be leaning towards the Rays here at minus 125. That seems reasonable to me. I don't know if I love it, though. I do, however, think there's some very good value to be had on under 10 in this game. I don't think the Rays are going to leave their young guy. They're not going to leave Baz out there to just get shelled in this game. So if he starts to struggle, the bullpen will come in, and that'll be fine. I don't think the Royals are going to score a ton of runs regardless. I also don't think that, the Rays are probably not going to go nuts against Lorenzen or against the Royals bullpen. So double digits, I think under 10 is very live here. Next up, guys, we've got the final game of a very exciting series that's been going on there in St. Louis. The Chicago Cubs taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Always a good time when you got a rivalry game out there. Now, the Cubs lost the first 2 games of the series, but won game 3 there, 8-0. So a huge bounce back from them. They'll be hitting the ball in this one to Shota Imanaga, hoping he can keep things rolling. He's coming off the IL there, that hamstring issue. So I'm expecting him to probably be pretty close to fine out there. I mean, he's 3-2 on the year, a 2.82 ERA. If that hamstring's okay, that arm is going to be feeling great after a little rest, I would think. So I'm expecting pretty good stuff from him. I mean, his last start was back on, what was it, May 4th against the Brewers, and he was good in that one. We'll see what he does here against the Cardinals. I don't believe he's faced, no, he has not faced him yet this year, but Imanaga is obviously a monster out there. The Cubs bullpen, no major concerns there, a 3.41 bullpen ERA. The offense, I mean, it's been fine lately, not necessarily dominant like it's been over the course of the year. So I would say, that 8-run game, definitely a nice way to get back on track. They're still second in the majors in runs scored. They are 8th in batting average, batting .255. The team is the 4th best slugging percentage team in the majors. So a lot of dangerous bats there in the Cubs lineup. That's not a secret to anyone. So we'll see what they do here against the Cardinals, who are 44-37 on the year. They were obviously looking pretty good there before losing that game. They're 3.5 back of the Cubs there in the NL Central. They'll hand the ball here to Andre Palante. This young now 26-year-old is 5-3 on the year, a 4.48 ERA. His last start was against the Reds, and he was fantastic. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, and a 6-1 win there for the Cardinals. So good stuff there. He hasn't faced the Cubs yet this season, I don't believe. No, he hasn't. So we'll see what he looks like in this matchup. Obviously, going up against a pretty tough team. I'm a little bit worried about Palante out there, to be honest. I'm a little bit worried about the Cardinals' bullpen as well. A 3.88 bullpen ERA is improving from what we saw earlier this season, but not necessarily a bullpen that I am in love with. So we'll see what happens there. Now, the offense for the Cardinals, they can put in some work, guys. This has been one of the better offenses in the majors. They're currently 6th in runs scored. They're 6th in batting average as well. Obviously, Walker having to head to the IL there with appendicitis. That's a bit rough. That's straight up not a good time. So we'll see what happens there. But the Cardinals are definitely an offense that's good enough to give the Cubs a run for their money. So looking at the numbers here, the Cubs being favorites totally makes sense with Imanaga on the mound. They're minus 135. The Cardinals are plus 115. We've got a total of 9 out there. The Cubs are 21-18 on the road, 21-14-4 to the over on the road. The Cardinals 26-15 at home, 23-16-2 to the over at home. I don't hate the idea of taking over 9 in this game. I think we're going to see some runs scored, but I don't love it with Imanaga on the mound. In terms of a side, it is Imanaga's first start coming off the IL, but I just don't trust Palante enough. So give me the Cubs at minus 135 as a small lean in this game. I'm not in love with it because Imanaga maybe won't be fine out there, but I kind of think he will be. So if you wanted to take the Cubs at minus 135, that's definitely all right with me. Next on the docket, we've got the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the Colorado Rockies. Now, these two teams are playing right now. The Dodgers are up 8-1 in the top of the 9th inning, so they're looking pretty good in Game 2. They won Game 1 9-7. Looks like they're going to win Game 2 8-1 probably 1 or 8 something. So I'm sure they're feeling pretty comfortable here, especially handing the ball to Clayton Kershaw, who's looking like kind of his old self again. He's 3-0, a 3.31 ERA. His last time out, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs against the Nationals in a 6-5 win there for the Dodgers. Over his last 5 starts, he hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs in any game, and that 3 earned runs he gave up was against the Mets. He's looked really good. The Dodgers are 4-1 over those 5 starts. I really don't have anything bad to say about Clayton Kershaw. Now he gets to take on the Rockies. I'm not expecting him to have too much trouble with Colorado. The bullpen for the Dodgers is a concern. A 4.32 bullpen ERA is not great, but maybe it'll be okay. I don't know. They need to find a way to improve that. That is going to be a problem here, especially in the playoffs. But we'll see what happens there. The Dodgers offense, clearly not a problem, guys. They are first in runs scored. They're the best offense in the majors. Like, there's really no way around that. First in runs scored, batting .265 as a team. That's first in the majors. Getting on base at a .340 clip. That's also first in the majors. And they're slugging it at a .462 mark. That's also, you guys guessed it, first in the majors. So we'll see what they do here going up against the Rockies. I'm expecting them to have a pretty good time. Colorado, 18-61 on the year. Hitting the ball in this one to Austin Gomber, who's 0-1, an 8.38 ERA. His first start of the season came out guns blazing there against the Atlanta Braves. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, and a 10-1 win. Then he went up against the Diamondbacks, and things did not go the same way. 4 2/3 innings, 12 hits, and 9 earned runs allowed in a 14-8 loss. So, I mean, we'll see what Gomber looks like if he can work his way back, into full shape here. I'm not necessarily super bought in yet. We'll see what happens. He's got to go up against the Dodgers here. I think that's a little bit scarier than going up against either Atlanta or Arizona. So we'll see what Gomber can do. Obviously, the bullpen is a huge concern for Colorado as well. 5th worst in the majors, a 4.65 bullpen ERA. That's not super encouraging, and neither is the offense. They're probably the worst. Well, maybe not the worst, but they're close. They've had times where they were the worst offense in the majors. They're 29th in on-base percentage, getting on base at a .292 clip, 27th in runs scored, 26th in batting average. Hunter Goodman is putting together a pretty good season, but this is not a scary team at the plate, especially for a veteran like Clayton Kershaw. I don't think he's going to be too worried at all. So Looking at the numbers here, guys, the Dodgers are minus 295. The Rockies are plus 235. We've got a total of 12 out there. The Dodgers are a 500 road team. They're 18 and 16 to the over on the road. The Rockies are 8 and 30 at home. They are 19, 18 and 1 to the over at home. I'm obviously going to be leaning towards the Dodgers in this one. I mean, Gomber could bounce back a little bit and still not look great. The thing is here, you basically have to take the Dodgers at minus 1.5 if you want any sort of reasonable price. I hesitate to even put something at minus 295 as the lock of the day. And, you know, if the Dodgers are going for the sweep, maybe they take their foot off the gas here a little bit. And maybe Gomber has some sort of amazing outing. But I think in general here, you want to be on the Dodgers in some way, shape, or form. But I'm not 1,000,000,000% sold on this game. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Marlins up 8-4 right now in the top of the 10th inning, kind of going nuts late in this game after giving up the lead, but loving what we're seeing from Miami in this one. This would be their third straight win and their second straight win in this series, so some very good stuff coming out of the Marlins. 32 and 45 team showing a lot of fight this year. Meyer having season-ending hip surgery, not great news for them, but overall, I think they've got to be very happy the way things are looking. They're handing the ball in this one to Jansen Junk. He comes into this game sporting a 2.60 ERA. His last time out was his first start of the season, I believe. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run in a 6-2 win against Atlanta. They've been using him as long relief, and he's been pretty good generally. He did have that weirdly bad outing against the Pirates, but overall, I've been very happy with what I've seen from him, and I don't really feel too bad about him going up against the Giants here, a team that he had a 4-inning, 3-hit, no run allowed, 5-strikeout, no walk appearance back on May 30th. So, yeah, I like Jansen Junk in this spot a good amount. I think he'll be just fine out there. The Marlins bullpen, not the best. A 4.44 bullpen ERA makes the end of every game very exciting. The offense, though, figuring things out, putting up 8 runs in their current game. They're 24th in runs scored, but 12th in batting average, 19th in on-base percentage. They've got some decent bats out there. Edwards, Stowers, like they've got some guys that have done some good stuff, and they're swinging some pretty warm bats. I mean, 8, 4, 5, 0, and 6 over their last few games is actually pretty decent for the Marlins. So we'll see what they look like here on the road against the Giants, who come into this game 44 and 35 on the year. They might be still looking for their first win in this series. They'll be hitting the ball off to Hayden Birdsong in this game. This young 23-year-old did some impressive stuff last year, having some problems here recently, though. His last start, 4 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them were earned in a 7-5 loss against Boston. Start before that, it was at the Rockies, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. In that one, I don't know. The Giants are only 2 and 3 over his last 5 starts. He did face the Marlins here recently, though, back on the 1st of June, and went 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. So we'll see what he looks like the second time around here against the Marlins. He'll be pitching at home in this one. We'll see if that helps him out a bit, but I'm just slightly worried about Birdsong here. The bullpen for the Giants, though, not worried about those guys. A 2.63 bullpen ERA is tops in the majors, and they've been the best bullpen in the majors for quite some time at this point. So I'm expecting the bullpen to be absolutely fine. The offense, on the other hand, for the Giants has been something that's concerned me all year long. Now, they got off to a very hot start, and I was like, is this real? Are the Giants actually like a really good offense? Some of the numbers were troubling, and turns out we were right to be worried, guys. They are all the way down to 19th in the majors in runs scored. They're batting .232 as a team. That's 24th in the majors. Their slugging percentage is .374. That's 25th in the majors. Just not a lot of terribly great things to say about this team at the plate. They're also a little bit banged up. So, yeah, life is a little bit tough right now for the Giants in terms of, putting runs on the board. So, looking at the numbers here, I'm a little bit surprised. The Marlins are plus 145. The Giants are minus 170. We've got totals out there of 8 or 7.5. The Marlins 15 and 21 on the road, 19 and 17 to the over on the road. The Giants 25 and 15 at home, 25 and 15 to the under at home. So first up, I don't hate under 8 in this game. I don't necessarily love it either, obviously, given what we've seen in the game that's currently ending right now. But I'm going to lean just slightly towards the Marlins at plus 145 also. I mean, I think Birdsong can be good, but Jansen Junk has been pretty lights out. And even if Birdsong is good, the Giants definitely not a team that comes into this game with much momentum. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Atlanta Braves going on the road to take on the New York Mets. This is game 4 of this series. We saw the Braves win the first 2, but then take the loss there in game 3, 7-3. Soto hitting a couple home runs there, not helpful for the Braves. The Braves are 37 and 42 on the year. They need every win they can come up with. They'll hand the ball in this game to Grant Holmes. He's 4 and 6 this season, a 3.71 ERA, despite having a fantastic head of hair. We've seen him struggle at times this year. Now, we've also seen him be insane. He struck out 15 in that game against Colorado that the Braves somehow managed to lose 10-1, but his last time out was against the Marlins. He was great. 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed. He did walk 5, but also struck out 5 and didn't let a run across the plate. So Pretty good stuff there. I would say he's been solid over his last 5 starts. So liking what we're seeing from Grant Holmes. We'll see what he can do here against the Mets. He hasn't faced them yet this year, but that can be a little bit tough. The bullpen for Atlanta, once Grant Holmes comes out of the game, a 3.65 bullpen ERA keeps you out of the bottom of the majors, but not a number that I'm really going to, not a bullpen that I can really lean on as a significant strength. Kind of the same situation with the offense. They were looking a little bit better there for a second. 3, 7, 3, 3, and 7 runs over their last few is nothing special. They're 22nd in the majors in runs scored. They are 21st in slugging percentage. Obviously, they've got some decent bats out there now, but it's not really filling me with tons of optimism. So we'll see what they can do here against the Mets. They come to this game fresh off that desperately needed win that snapped a 3-game losing streak. They are 47-34 on the year, handing the ball in this game to Griffin Canning, who's 7-3 this season, a 3.91 ERA. His last start was against the Phillies. 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them were earned. Definitely not his best stuff. I would say over his last 3 starts, though, he's struggled quite a bit. We'll see which version of him we get here. Has he faced the Mets? No, he's not faced the Mets. He has not faced the Braves this year. Has he not? No, he has not faced the Braves this year. So we'll see what Canning looks like in this one. He's kind of due for a bounce back, but it feels a little bit tough to be backing a guy just, on the hopes that he has a better performance than he's been having recently. The Mets bullpen, not a huge concern there. A 3.47 bullpen ERA is very solid. The offense coming alive there yesterday, a couple Soto home runs, I'm sure it makes this team starting to feel a lot better about him. He's up to 19 home runs, batting 256. I don't know if that's worth $1 billion, but they'll take it where they can get it. They're currently 13th in runs scored in the majors, 20th in batting average, but top 10 in both on-base percentage and slugging percentage. I doubt they're that worried about the way the offense is looking, right now. So looking at the numbers for this game, the odds makers have this as an effective coin flip. Both teams listed at -110 if you shop around a little bit. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Braves, not a great road team. 15-26 on the road this year, 21-18-2 to the under on the road. The Mets, 17-12 at home. Despite their recent struggles, that's still tied for the best home record in the majors. They're 21-16-2 to the under at home. I could wrap my head around under 8.5 in this game. I don't necessarily love it, though. The weather's changing. We're starting to see some higher totals out there. So I'd probably stay away from the total in this one. And I would lean just a little bit here towards the Mets. Seems like they might be back on track here. Splitting this series for the Mets would make a good amount of sense. If you'd asked me at the beginning of the series, like, how is this going to go? And told me the starters, I would say there's a good chance it's going to end up being a split. So give me the Mets at -110 here as a small lean. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching, guys. Get over to stumpthespread.com by clicking that little link down in the description. Get on that free email list. It's absolutely free. All they need is your name and your email address, and you'll be good to go for that. Also, a little bit of probably disappointing news. We're not going to have a video out for Friday's games. We're going to be traveling and stuff, going to be away from the home setup. So we're going to miss one day, but don't worry. We'll be back Saturday, Sunday, all those days. We'll be right back on track, grinding out these videos for you guys every single day. So I appreciate all of you guys. We won't be right back here tomorrow, but we'll be right back here the day after tomorrow. Same time, same place for more sports betting action.